Welcome to Myers ASMR. How are you? Are you relaxed? Relax, relax. It just gets better and better. Yeah, it just gets better and better. Just like this tuna sandwich that I just made, although I'm a little nervous because I think I over toasted the bread. So let's just get to it. Let's see how hard this bread really is. Oh boy. Well, the taste is phenomenal. It's too much mayonnaise. I was already prepared for the challenge of eating this. I don't really like when things fall out of my sandwich. Oh, good. Yeah, a big splat of tuna actually fell on the floor. Well, it hit the blouse first. So, I think the next time I make a tuna sandwich, I'm going to do the mayonnaise in little drops. It's still scraping the roof of my mouth, but it's so good. Let's just admit that sandwiches can be messy. I think wraps and pita are the neatest breads. I made it healthier with mixing shredded or grated carrot into the tuna mixture. I chopped onion finely into the tuna mixture. Sprinkled a little bit of oregano and black pepper. have every right and prerogative to want what you want and prefer what you prefer. And you don't need to explain, apologize, seek permission, or approval to want what you want to want. That's your business. It's personal anyways. Go for yours. Your preferences and desires are your prerogative. And if you're not hurting anybody, including yourself, you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting anyone else, then guide yourself accordingly, right? This is my peppermint soursop chamomile hibiscus tea. I tend to make a pot of it and then I sip on it for about 2 days. Hey, this is the point in the video when we get to focus on getting better and better every day in every way with the help of this How to Develop a Winning Personality book. So let's see where we left off. Ooh, fresh new chapter. Chapter 5, make yourself colorful. In the preceding chapter, we referred to the huge numbers of people who travel about the world, bumper to bumper, so to speak. This is now referred to as the population explosion. Scientists are concerned that there are maybe soon too many people in the world. There are already 3 billion in spite of several major wars and a shocking increase in automobile fatalities. This book was written in the 60s, by the way, so I'm reading it because the ideas still hold, but maybe some of the statistics and facts need an updating, so keep that in mind. But those things are a bit trivial. It's the broader knowledge. That's why I'm reading it. You would think, wouldn't you, that it might be pretty difficult for you to stand out in a crowd like that. Actually, it would not be at all difficult. All you need is the desire to stand out and the willingness to learn how. The reason for this is not that you are so wonderful, but that of the 3 billion people now alive, about 2,999,000,000 will spend their time conforming and trying to be as alike as peas in a pod. They will be eager to dress and look alike, and to read and do and say the same things. That leaves the field wide open for you and the other 999,999 who don't think that successful living means disappearing into the general mass of humanity. Of the million who want to be different, there are perhaps 10 or at most 20,000 who will be colorful or outstanding in a big way. These will be the presidents, the kings and the queens, the members of Congress and parliaments, the stage and movie stars, the famous authors, the great musicians, the grand dames of society, the brilliant scientists, the talented artists, the notable doctors and lawyers, and the like. You and I can hardly aspire to join this select group, though you can never tell. Exactly. Now let me add my own 2 cents. This is where I have to disagree and digress, because look, anybody can do whatever they want to do. Remember what I just said before I even started reading this, is that your desires are your desires. You don't need to explain. You get to want whatever you want to want, okay? If you want to be a part of this group, then you can, because you can aspire to be whatever you want to be. All right. So let's just clear that up. If you want to be a prominent doctor and lawyer, a great musician, artist, what have you, you can do it, be it, have it. And I suggest you do. I suggest you go for yours. Then there are the 980 or 90,000 who will be outstanding in a smaller way in their own towns or streets or offices or schools or clubs or homes. These are the colorful little people of the world. The people without whom no party is a success. The people who attract friends as though by magnet. The people with whom members of the opposite sex easily fall in love. The people who light up a room when they enter it. You can be one of them if you want to be. And if you join this highly restricted club of 980 or 90,000 colorful souls, you will never be lonely again. Paradoxically, you don't have to be outstanding to be outstanding. That is to say, it is not necessary to be handsome or beautiful or exceedingly clever or talented. How many times have you attended weddings at which you murmured, "I don't see what that gorgeous female sees in that ugly brute"? Or, how in the world did that frump ever get an Adonis like that to propose to her? It happens too often to be explained away with the old saw that love is blind. As a matter of fact, love is not blind. Love comes as the result of true 2020 vision. The chances are that the frump and the ugly brute have something that transcends mere surface appearance, something that arouses the interest and sharpens the vision of the Adonis and the gorgeous female. Let me tell you about a frump who married not one Adonis, but two. Not at the same time, of course. She divorced the first one because he turned out to be too colorful in his own right. I shall have to disguise the details a bit because I would not want her to recognize herself and hate me for it. No woman likes to be referred to as a frump. The first thing to tell is that Lorna, let us call her that, never thought of herself as a frump. She knew she wasn't pretty or talented or even exceedingly smart, but she knew also that she was a human being, a woman, a creature, capable of dignity and self-respect. She knew that she had something precious to give to the world, even if it were only love or kindness or companionship. Finally, she knew that what she had to give to the world could be given by the whole 3 billion human beings, and that in order to get the world to accept her gifts, she would have to do something that would make her noticed in that huge mass. I don't think she sat down consciously and thought it out and planned it that way, though you can do it consciously if you wish. It just happened to occur to her because she was not satisfied just to have friends or to find a husband. She wanted the friends of her choice and the husband of her dreams. Almost everybody has friends and almost everyone finds a spouse, but most people take what they get. Or, at most, they make compromises. It was quite by accident that she discovered that the most important ingredient of color in the human personality is enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, no human being can be outstanding or colorful or even talented. Can you imagine a half-hearted recital by an Arthur Rubinstein or an uninterested campaign speech by a presidential aspirant? Or an absent-minded proposal of marriage by a Romeo? It happened like this. One day, Lorna was shopping in a department store. On a novelty counter, she came upon a little ivory elephant that struck her fancy. The more she looked at it, the more she admired it, and soon, though it cost more than she should have spent, she felt that she could not do without it. She took it home and put it on a mantle where everyone who visited her could see it. she told her friends about it in such an enthusiastic way that some who had never called at her home asked if they could come and see it. After a while, the ivory elephant incident, like all world-shaking incidents, petered out, and that would have been the end of it, except for a lucky accident. One of her associates happened to vacation in Argentina. One day, in a shop window in Buenos Aires, she saw a number of carved ivory elephants of various sizes that had been imported from Siam, now Thailand. Suddenly, she remembered how excited Lorna had been about her ivory elephant. This will make a wonderful gift for Lorna, she thought. She imagined how Lorna would bubble over when she received it, and she felt good all over because she was going to bring such pleasure to her office friend. Of all the things she bought on her vacation for family and friends, the one that stood out in her mind was the elephant because this was the only one she knew for certain would be eagerly received. She was not disappointed. Lorna's eyes lighted up so that the donor tingled all over. Forever after, there would be something about Lorna that made her very special in her own heart, even if later on she would forget the real reason for it. Naturally, she told others about Lorna's enthusiasm. "Lorna's just a nut about ivory elephants," she said, and soon Lorna came to be known as the Elephant Girl to her friends. They began to vie with one another to find odd and unusual ivory elephants to take to Lorna. Lorna had become colorful, as simply as that. The lesson was not lost on Lorna. She knew it was not the elephants per se that had almost suddenly changed her personality. It was her enthusiasm for the elephants that had the magnetic effect on the others. Indeed, when the first Adonis fell in love with her, he didn't even know about the elephants. He became drawn to her because she was so much fun to be with. And she was so much fun to be with because she was enthusiastic. She didn't merely accept things, she clearly appreciated and enjoyed them, whether they were clever comments, a bright moon, a thoughtful gift, or a friend's good fortune. When he found out about the elephants, Mr. Adonis was delighted because it gave him unending opportunities for surprising and delighting Lorna. In a sense, most of us are pretty wonderful people because we get so much joy out of the ability to give joy. The hidden secret in this quality is the fact that one of the greatest joys we can give to others is the easy opportunity to give us joy. The reason is that our egos are flattered when we find ourselves capable of arousing enthusiasm in others. Let's let that sink in for a moment. I'm gonna read it again. One of the greatest joys we can give to others is the easy opportunity to give us joy. The reason is that our egos are flattered when we find ourselves capable of arousing enthusiasm in others. That is so true. You will note that in Lorna's case, there were two factors that contributed to her achievement of colorfulness. One was the basic, fundamental, vital factor of enthusiasm, which was and became more emphatically an integral part of her personality. The second was her special interest in carved ivory elephants, which was not so basic or fundamental, but which was, in a way, almost as important. The second factor we shall call a gimmick because that's what it was, a gimmick. As we proceed, we shall see that what the basic personality factors accomplish for us is good, but not quite as good as what we could have with the addition of a gimmick. It is the basic personality factor that makes us likable and desirable. But it is the gimmick that makes it easier for others either to please us and therefore themselves, or place us in a mental compartment separate from that reserved for the mass of faceless people. When Lorna married her second Adonis, she was considerably older. And the second time, the ivory elephants played a bigger role. And this is the right place to leave it, because as I'm looking ahead, I can see that they changed the subject and they start talking about Winston Churchill, President Kennedy, Jack Benny. So I'll leave that for another day. Hey, I am open to collaborations and sponsorships. We can come together and boost each other's social media. We can do videos together. Let me know what you have in mind. If you have products or services that you want me to review on my channel, let's talk. And if you like what I'm doing here, like and subscribe. Donate to the cause. Catch me in the next video. And may you find lasting happiness.